Now, I found a very interesting company. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know how I'm always going on about transparency. I want to know who is behind the company. I want proof of who they are. I want to check their history. Well, this company go out of their way to be transparent. In fact, they're the most transparent company I've ever seen. Now, they're small but growing. They're focused on sustainability. They have deliberately created a business model designed to last, to be sustainable. So they're not a hype. They pay up to 1.25%. They have steadily grown even in this bear market. And I think they're going to exponentially explode when we get to a bull run. So I'm really excited about these guys. Let's check them out in more detail. So the website is called My Passive Trades, and they are owned by Polaris Universal Limited, who have several products, but I'm just going to focus on My Passive Trades for the moment. Now here are the 4 key people behind the business, and I'm going to quickly go through each one. This guy in the top left is Darren Bradbury. He is one of the 2 directors of the holding company. The company is registered to Darren's home address, where he lives, so there's nowhere to hide. He has a strong background in network marketing, he's a serious businessman, and is completely open and encouraging of transparency. Now, I've checked back through many years of the companies and products that Darren's been involved in, and some of those I have questions I'd like answers to, and I will be interviewing Darren in the next few days and hope to have all my remaining questions answered. Now, when I chatted to Darren about the interview, I warned him that I would have some difficult questions to ask, and I offered him to send him a list of questions in advance so he could prepare. And you know what he said? No. He said he didn't want the interview to be scripted. He said I could ask him whatever I like, no problems. And I really like that. I mean, how transparent and refreshing is that? So this guy down here on the bottom left is Nabil Armani. He's also a director of the holding company, and he's their master trader. And that's how they generate revenue, through trading Forex and crypto. Every 2 weeks they publish a trade report where you can verify the trades. And when you listen to Nabil in a moment, you can hear how clever this guy is, how fast his brain works. And he's on Facebook, as all of these guys are. They all have a strong digital footprint. And this guy in the top right is John Mattia. I'm sorry where I had to pause the video there, not getting a great picture of you. Now, he is strongly focused on another product called Chatterbox, which is similar to Facebook. And this lady down here on the bottom right is Lydia Bensina, Managing Director. And she is very active on Facebook and regularly produces YouTube videos on their channel. Now, every one of these 4 people have a very strong digital footprint. Facebook accounts with long histories that can be verified, and Darren regularly posts live streams on Facebook presenting the latest updates on the company and does open question and answer sessions. So the community that is invested in My Passive Trades and who are active on Facebook, they seem very happy with how their investments are going and with the level of transparency they're getting. Now, I've chatted with quite a few of them, and I'm happy that it's legit. And when you have a loyal community, that's a really good sign. Now, as of early March 2019, they had roughly 1,500 investors and growing. So let's have a quick listen to John, Darren and Nabil to give you a quick flavour of their personalities.
Okay, so no, myself, I'm one of the guys. Okay, I am the owner of Polaris Universal, along with Nabil that you will see below me. He's joint shareholder with me. He is also the trader, so I will give him an extra introduction in a second as well. We've got Lydia there, who's the managing director of Polaris Universal, and John above her as well, who is the marketing lead. Okay, so we're going to go through and we're going to be talking about it from different aspects as well. And it would be a chance for everybody to get to know us. Okay, transparency is extremely important for us.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Nabil, Darren. Good evening, Lydia in Croatia. My name is John Mattia. I'm a marketing lead. My role really is moving forward in the various product areas that we have at the moment, which is fantastic. My background is corporate finance. I love numbers, as Darren knows. I'm all about imagination and endeavour, and really that I'm here to help as much as I can and in any shape or form as well. So, and as Darren always says, there's never a silly question. If you've got a question, just ask it, and we will always answer to the best of our ability. And as Darren says, And everyone says within our company, it's all about transparency. And I think that's very, very important in an online platform like this, because if you can meet the owners, as we're doing at this very moment in time, engage with them, via inboxes and proper messages, and have conversations, you can certainly learn a lot about them, and they can learn a lot about you as well.
So yeah, as you said, like we're not looking to be a one-season wonder. We're trying to do legendary stuff here. So we're doing it for the long run, and sometimes it needs to do different things and make yourself as big as possible. And this is what we're doing now, and I think that the reward will be huge. So yeah, so I'm basically the head trader. So, and the trading is where the profits from the different sources come in, and then we trade with them, and we use the profit to continue business. And yeah, and we have the private trading fund, which you can access from My Passive Trades, and you can also access, I think, from Forex Unite. I'm not sure. But yeah, the private trade is we have limited seats and places in one account that we want to give people access to it. So basically, people will just make the same profit, the same percentage that the master account makes, and we take a 15% portfolio management, which is very low compared to the standards. And if you think about it, it's very low because we only make money when there is some profits, and we only take 15% of that. So yeah, so it's basically me doing all the trading for those specific investors in the private trading fund. And yeah, if you're interested in that, you can contact us. I'm using strategies and models that I've been building for a long time, and I'm dynamic. I know the faces and how they change, and basically this is why I believe that humans have an advantage over bots, because bots cannot really adapt. But as a human, you can always learn new things, do new research, add and delete stuff from your strategies. But ours are working perfectly fine, and in a not really good months, like the last 5 to 6 months, they weren't the greatest, and we are able to make between 10 and 20% average per month. Of course, we made a lot more when the market was better, and we will make a lot more when the market is better. So yeah, so it's you just wait for the trades to come to you, and then you calculate after a while how much you make as an average. So there isn't really an average that we put there. It can be very big, and it can be, but what we found out is that the minimum that we would make would be around 10% as an average per month, 10-15%. That's like a minimum, but we can make a lot more. It all depends on, because my style of trading is very active. I do it because I think too much. So when I'm away from the chart, I feel like I want to check back and see what's happening. So I'm always in front of the chart. I end up being almost always there. So yeah, so I can see more opportunities. I can see small scalps here and there, and small moves that I can take advantage that some other swing traders are not going to be interested in. And it all depends on what your goal. Some people want, I mean, normally what we make, which is between 10 and 20%, is in my opinion remarkable compared to what other traders do. But at the same time, it's very possible, and a lot of people, some people make more, and they can make more, but the more you try to make more, the more it's going to be a little more risky, in my opinion.
So that gives you a flavor of some of the key people behind My Passive Trades. And for me, my biggest takeaway from listening to them is the importance they place on transparency. And especially these days when so many platforms are exit scamming and we don't know who's behind them, we can't verify who they are, what they do. They pretend to have AI bots and all this kind of stuff. So transparency is really key for me. It's the first thing I look for in a platform. Okay, so these guys have got several products, but I'm just going to focus on their primary investment plan, which they call ad packs. Now, you don't have to click on ads or surf or do anything like that, but there is an advertising aspect to this, which is a pro and a con. Let's have a look. So they call their product ad packs. Each ad pack costs $5. The minimum investment plan is $10, so to get started you need to purchase 2 ad packs. Now, each ad pack lasts until you've been paid 125%. Now, the maximum daily profit is 1.25%, but in reality, it's 1%. That's the average that they pay out. They pay every day, even on weekends. So let's say you invest $100. After roughly 125 days, you'll have received 125 back. Now, they actively encourage compounding, and they even show spreadsheets on how to maintain a persistent level of income. And they have a very sustainable model. Now, Darren goes into several explanations of why their company is sustainable, but the essence of it is their trading makes more than they're paying out. They have a fund where the profits go into. So even if they have a down market, there's sufficient funds there to sustain the payouts. Then before I go into my summary of what I think of my passive income, I just need to show you what happens when you log on. Now, as soon as you go to their homepage, this video down here will automatically start playing. I don't personally like that, but it's a very small point. Now, once you log in, you're immediately brought to an advert. Now, the first time... Whoa. You have to wait till this finishes. And then click on skip ad. Now, I've just clicked on that. It didn't react straight away. There is a slight delay. Now, personally, I find that a bit irritating. But there's two views on this. The first is, I'm only interested in passive income, so I don't want to have adverts. Personally, I would like to see an option where it said you don't have to watch these adverts. And if that was in the personal preferences, then great. I could turn that off if I wanted. The very first time I went to log on to the site, what came up was NTW Gold. And it was a full page advert. And my first impression was, damn, I've been redirected to NTW Gold. I didn't think I was still on my passive trades because the advert was full page, like the one you just saw a second ago. That threw me. Now, the other view of having built-in advertising in the platform is the advertising helps to sustain the platform. So if you're invested in this platform and you like it and you want it to persist, then your view of adverts becomes more acceptable. And the other aspect of it is if you want some of those ads to help promote what you're doing. So you could be into another thing like Bitcoin Frontiers or whatever it happens to be. And you could put up adverts there trying to promote your affiliate account if that's what you had. But I'd like it to be optional. Okay, so let's go on to my verdict now. Now, I always start off my verdict on a website with the things I don't like. And honestly, I found it very hard to find anything that I don't like here. Now, as I just showed you, you're hit with an advert as soon as you log in. Now, I don't like that, but I think it could grow on me, especially if I was to make use of that feature myself. Now, the only other slight thing I don't like, and I'm being really picky here, is withdrawal fees. Now, sure, I understand that there's a cost to using a payment service, and either the platform or the investor has to shoulder the cost. But if I'm interested in a sustainable platform, then I do understand that fees are an important element of that. So I understand that it might be unfair to list that there. The thing I really like, the thing that shouts out about this platform is transparency. I absolutely love the level of transparency I see here. I really like that the company is registered to Darren's house. And that's a brave thing to do. Most people either use a PO box or they register it in a business premises, so they keep it very separate. So that means it's another reinforcement for me that he has nothing to hide. I really like that all the key people have strong digital footprints that we can follow and verify. I like the fact that the trades can be verified. A lot of companies claim to have an AI bot, but as for evidence, you never get to see any. At least here, you have the chance to verify trades. I like the sustainability of the platform. Darren is obviously a serious businessman, and he's put a lot of thought into the business model to create sustainability for this platform. There's a trading school option with mentorship. There's a cost to it, but it's a nice thing that they offer. I like that about this. It means that you get to deal with the people behind the platform. And there's a loyal community. You cannot purchase a loyal community. I've chatted with many of these people, and I believe what they're saying. So in summary, I really like my passive trades. I like what I see. I like the people behind the company, and I'm going to proceed and invest with this company. They're my thoughts. Thank you for listening. Take care, guys.